shout out to Fabian636 and S2E on the Hypixel forums. They actually wrote out timelines of the events on the Hypixel server, which greatly helped out this video coming to life. Links to their forum posts will be in the description, and they also go more in depth in a lot of areas than I do, so check them out. Oh, hey, I'm just playing Champions in the Mineplex server. What do you mean I'm irrelevant? No one plays Mineplex anymore? What the heck is Hypixel? I've been playing on that server for over 3 years? I didn't lose my memory, except I have been using this memory loss toothpaste recently. I made a video on the history of Hypixel for this exact scenario? That's really good timing. Are you sure? Okay. Aw, sweet! Well, let's see what Hypixel is. Hypixel as a server was originally released on April 13, 2013 by Simon Collins Laflamme and Philippe Touchette to showcase their adventure maps that they had made. They also released some mini-games, being Quakecraft, Boast Belief, and The Walls, as sort of waiting rooms or lobbies while you were waiting to play on their maps. However, their mini-games seemed to gain more traction than the actual maps themselves. They began to be the main focus of the server, and their player slots went from 500 to 1,500. This was when they implemented Limbo, a sort of waiting room you're put in if the server gets too chaotic or full. Just a few days after their shift in focus, they added their first new minigame, Adventure Lobby, which is no longer able to be played. Rest in peace. Now Hypixel's making more quality games than ever, since within a few weeks they released Paintball, Blitz survival games, and the TNT games, which become some of the most popular games on the server. If you're wondering, the TNT games start out with TNT Run, the aforementioned Boast Belief, and TNT Wizards a week later. On August 22nd, Vampires, or is it Vampire Z? Either way, it gets released. Also, during this time, Hypixel is gaining even more popularity than they did before, as they start gaining hundreds of unique players every week, and Hypixel soon hits over 10,000 unique players, and they host their first ever live tournament on October 5th, 2013. Later that year, they had an entirely new game than the Walls, Mega Walls. Now, ever since the server started, they've had the VIP rank, and soon after the VIP Plus rank. But on December 15, 2013, Hypixel adds MVP and MVP Plus, which gave you some more things you can do in Access. Yeah! Now, 2014 rolls around, and Hypixel releases Arena Brawl in March. A couple months later, however, they released a beta form of their big new project, Arcade Games, to VIP and up members. Arcade games started out with Creeper Attack, Party Games, and Ender's Belief, plus getting some new games like Dragon Wars and Farm Hunt as time went on. But when Arcade Games released to the public on June 28th, brought in some new games with it, like Bounty Hunters and Throwout. Some new mini-games get released later in the year as well, like The Blocking Dead to the Arcade Games lobby, and Cops and Crims as its own thing. Now, these two games have something in common, being that they both use custom resource packs, which is a pretty uncommon thing for Hypixel to do nowadays, but I guess they wanted the guns in these games to look less like hoes and shovels and more like, well, guns. In November of the very same year, Hypixel released one of their most iconic features yet, being mystery boxes. These used to be something exclusive to Arena Brawl under the name Magical Chests, but this update made them accessible to all lobbies. The final thing Hypixel did in 2014 was release UHC Champions, becoming another one of their most popular games. Now on to 2015, where they released Lobby Parkours, aka the bane of my existence, and Slash Ignore, which just straight up blocks people. Oh yeah, they also had some new minigames like Warlords, which no one talks about anymore, Galaxy Wars, which no one even knows exists anymore, Build Battle, which is actually pretty fun, and Turbo Car Racers, which is my least favorite game on the whole server. I mean, this year they also had Housing, and Hole in the Wall, that's pretty cool. They did Crazy Walls, PvP Run, and Santa Says. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Oh yes, Sky Wars releases on June 14th, easily Hypixel's biggest and most popular game so far, revolutionizing what Sky Wars was and bringing thousands of new players to the Hypixel server, easily the biggest event of 2015 for Hypixel. In 2016, Hypixel gained insane numbers, with 8 million unique logins and a record of over 45,000 people on at one time. This year, Smash Heroes also comes out, as well as Watchdog, which is a new system where you can report someone, and people will see if they're cheating, hacking, bullying, etc. And if there's evidence for your claims, they will get banned. And oh boy does it ban people. Within the first 2 days of it coming out, nearly 3,000 people get banned from the server. Also in February, Santa Says becomes Hypixel Says, and has remained in the Arcade Games lobby ever since. Later that year, new game modes for pre-existing games came out as well, including Ranked Skywars and Speed UHC, as well as football. It's not a new mode, it's just soccer. Plus some other new mini-games like Mini Walls and Sky Clash, which has since been taken down, come out. On to 2017. Speaking of which, in January, the prototype lobby gets released, and it releases with duels, UHC Deathmatch, Survival Dash, and Bed Wars. UHC Deathmatch and Survival Dash get taken down after a little while, and Murder Mystery gets put in instead. Bed Wars kind of becomes the most played game on the server by far, even when it was still in the prototype lobby, so a few months later it gets its own lobby and becomes the new Sky Wars, except even more popular. Because of this surge in popularity, Hypixel actually gets 3 Guinness World Records that they still hold today. Quite an amazing feat for a Minecraft server. Plus, Murder Mystery gets its own lobby. However, despite all this, Hypixel was losing money, and in order to support the team's staff and actually gain a profit from their server, Hypixel is going to need to have a new source of income. Introducing the new rank, MVP++. It basically just gave you more access to things, but it was pretty controversial at the time. When 2018 rolled around, new games are in development in the prototype lobby, and I'm not going to go over all of them, only when a prototype game gets released into 1.0, like with Hide and Seek and Zombies, which are released as arcade games. Nothing much happened afterwards in 2018 until December 13th, when Hypixel shows their first trailer for their brand new game, Hytale. The release date has yet to be confirmed, however. Then 2019 happened, and Hypixel released a game bigger than Sky Wars, bigger than Bed Wars. No, it was Skyblock, and a completely different take on it too. It first released at the prototype lobby on June 11th, and on January 26th, 2020, Hypixel realized Skyblock's popularity and made it the first game to have its own unique set of rules. After this fact, Hypixel kept updating Skyblock, making sure there was always a new thing to do, and in turn, it became even more crazy popular. There was at least 30,000 people on Skyblock at all times, and it makes Hypixel an even larger server. Plus, housing gets its own lobby, and even though 2020 has been a crap year for the rest of the world, it's been great for Hypixel. So many people have been isolating themselves in their homes that Hypixel has finally passed 100,000 players on at one time. The Pit also released as a brand new game, even though it has been sitting in prototype lobby purgatory for a while, so that was cool. However, something not as cool happened. Crazy Walls was with the server for 5 years, and on June 24th, they decided to remove it from the server entirely, and then seemingly replace it with Scuba Simulator. But, that's the seasonal game that pops up once in a while, so it's basically irrelevant.
Wow, Hypixel has had a pretty amazing history, and I think I'm starting to remember the great times I've had with it over the years. My only question is, why did Past Me put this in a Connect Sports Season 2 box?